This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on a Wednesday. I'm Tito. Bobby to my left, Bodie to my right. God, what a show. I got you guys both here. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We got a big show lined up for you today.
Good.
We'll have Austin Ward on.
A-Dub Sports.
I think he's boots on the ground, right? Bodie there, he's down in Chicago.
Yes.
And we will have him.
Hopefully.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's gonna
I wasn't sure if that was a question or a statement.
Well, it was kind of I saw him on the show sheet. And I was like, okay, I think we'll have him. But, I mean, it'll be 6:20 a.m. out there when we have him on. But that's fine. Lots to talk about with that. God, so much stuff to get into with the media days. Jersey patch stuff. We'll talk about that as well. Yesterday, by the way, let's do this first. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. We had 2 full hours right here on YouTube, the Fan app, Twitter, Facebook. Catch the show 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Download the podcast anywhere you get your audio. And to quote the great comedian whose first name was Lenny from way back when, the 80s, tell your friends about it. If you like it, tell your friends about it. If your friends don't like it, find new friends. But download the podcast anywhere you get your audio. Not much as far as last night's results go. Guards beat the Reds 6-5 in Game 1 of their day-night doubleheader. Reds over the Guards 2-0. Oh, wait, soccer's over. 2-0. 2-0 shutout for the Reds in Game 2. Cleveland plays at Cincinnati tonight at 7:10. Bob, did you take in any of the Guards Reds yesterday?
You know, I'm proud to say.
Oh.
I can't remember what Tim McGraw's song it is. That hadn't seen the Braves play a game all year.
He liked it. He loved it. He wanted some more of it.
That's right. Hadn't seen the Braves play a game all year. I have not watched a baseball game, Major League Baseball game. I did watch a lot of the College World Series, which I always enjoy. But I was just honestly going to check. I try to check the standings every once in a while to see if it's actually important that I watch. And the Guards are still in the mix, which is good to see. And the Reds, not as much.
In the mix.
Not as much. Not as much. Not far under 500. I mean, they're not far out, but they've got some work to do if they want to get back in it.
You are still uniform number old, correct?
What?
You're still uniform number old, correct?
Number old?
What number were you? What was your uniform?
What does that mean?
What number did you wear at Ohio State?
42.
How old are you?
Oh, yes, 42.
Okay. You are still uniform number old.
Robinson.
There was a lot there.
I know, Bob.
I didn't. I'll be honest. I wasn't.
Look,
am I missing something
I'm
here?
in the fast lane. Okay.
Ooh,
you are uniform number
lane.
old. Bodie, you are 29.
Christian Gray.
Okay. I knew you'd know that. Both of you, your listening habits for music, when you were 21 years old, how different are they now?
I would tell you this, like, part of the reason that I enjoy going back into Ohio State and working out is because it allows me to keep my finger on the pulse of, like, a different demographic than where I'm at. I would have no access into, like, young urban culture as a 42-year-old man that lives in the suburbs.
Who did at 21, yeah.
That I, like, been playing in a locker, like a very diverse locker room. And so my listening habits, the only thing I probably have added a lot more in is probably some faith and gospel music. But outside of that, I started listening to country music when I was in college. I didn't listen to it in high school. Listened to some pop. I listened to some 80s, some classic rock. Listened to a lot of hip hop. I listened to a lot of, honestly, on a certain level, there's a lot of the same stuff from probably about 93 to 2010.
Right.
I kept in that window and didn't really add a whole lot into some of the pot, but it's probably not all that different.
Well, and you've got country music friends, right?
Yeah.
Who was it you saw out there in Vegas?
Kenny
Chesney. So, like, that plays into it as well.
Dave Matthews stuff.
Yes.
Got a chance to know, but the people that I've really been huge fans of, I got a chance to meet and get to know a little bit, and I've lived a very blessed life because of that.
Did you meet Dave?
Yeah. I got pictures with him. We had dinner together. I mean, was a while back, but yeah, I mean, I've probably been to 30 Dave shows.
How about me, you, Dave, and Breer have dinner?
Breer would enjoy that.
Sure he would.
I don't know if Dave, you talk a lot for Dave.
I'm just saying, like me, you, Dave, and Breer.
You're very aggressive. He's a very laid back dude.
I understand. I would love to hang out, me, you, Dave, and Breer. If I told you that was my dream dinner, would you make it happen?
Are you dying?
Yes.
If you're like the little Make-A-Wish kid for AD, then maybe.
Bob, first of all.
There was a great South Park episode about a Make-A-Wish kid one time.
Safe to say I'm dying, right?
Well, I mean, everybody's dying. Now, you do have the diabetes, so maybe at a quicker rate than others.
So if I say to you, Bob, could you please make a dinner, me, you, Dave, and Breer, would you make it happen for me?
So upon the departure of my dad from the hospital, I got a text from my mom finding out that my uncle had like metastatic pancreatic cancer. He's got about 3 to 6, maybe a year tops, 2 if you're like on the tail end of lucky. And I've been texting with my cousin about that. And so like if you tell me you've got something like that, I'll pull the strings to get it done.
Okay. He brought it down. Bodie,
I'm just being real.
I understand. I appreciate it. No, Bob, I appreciate it. You're right. Bodie, you're 29 now.
Mm-hmm.
How different are your listening habits when you're 21?
I'd say they're extremely similar.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But
like mine too.
Like in all fairness, like you haven't added a whole lot into your life. Like you not
the kids
married,
thing.
you don't have kids. Like,
Also, just I would say a lot of the music I like was already out 8 years ago. Honestly, like
fair.
I
You're
just
right.
making
That's
any
fine.
new oldies.
yeah, that's the
I know
thing.
what you mean, yes.
The Eagles come out with any new songs? No,
that
Glenn
kind of
Fry's
thing-
been
look,
dead about a decade. Okay,
That's going to mess you up when you
Like-
get to a point in your life when it's like, I love this song. Oh, wait, it's on Sunny 95. It's like that right there will change your life
I'd
when
take
that
no
happens.
shame in that. I
See,
like what I like.
You know what's amazing is like
In fact, get rid of the damn jersey patches. Let's go.
Oh, don't.
bring it
We're not doing.
SoFi.
No, stop.
Listen, I've always been a SoFi fan.
Listen.
Did I know what they were before yesterday? Not entirely, but I've seen Jason Tatum in some of their commercials. I knew there was something with finance.
they had a stadium
I'm
out
in.
in LA. They
Right,
got
yes,
spots.
exactly.
Exactly.
Must be doing pretty well.
Yeah, worked out for the Rams last few years.
Yeah, it's my son. I don't know if there was a
Give me a son name.
Kellen.
Okay.
So
Favorite carpenter.
He's 13
Best
now.
carpenter.
When he was
Teenager.
probably,
He is.
he started using one of our iPads when he was, I don't know, like 6 or 7, something like that. And he would plug headphones into it. And I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you're technologically advanced enough. You might be too young. But U2 released an album that they just gave to everybody on iTunes.
Ooh.
Whether you wanted it or not, you got it.
Was that the U2?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that.
Like yes.
Overrated.
The picture was like a dude. It was like his son with his head on his stomach. It was kind of a weird picture. Until I realized it was son, it was very weird. But he loved that. And it was the only music that was on this iPad. And so he would
On
drive around
repeat.
listening to it. And it was like, they came out like 2013, 2014. And he would like sing the songs and he knew all the lyrics. And I go, what is that? He goes, Dad, it's the music that's on there. And he's like, don't you like that? I go, no, I don't actually. It's like, what? I'm like, you want to give you some good U2? And I showed
back.
He goes, I don't like that stuff. And I'm
Oh.
like, dude, if any U2 fan finds out that you like this album and not this stuff,
Yeah.
like Pride, One, I mean,
Oh,
like,
yes. God, one's
With or
great.
Without You, I mean, there's
Yes.
a bunch.
Oh, With or Without
And I'm
You.
like, we're listening to this crap that they pushed out. They literally gave it to you, like, we're going to give away our music. No, we're going
Here's
to
the best album.
We're going to force you to take it. It wasn't like you could get it for free. We're making, like, if you left a grocery store and they just gave you something, I don't even want this. Too bad. You have to take it or we take back the rest of your groceries.
Yeah.
I don't want it, though. Too bad.
And music has this way of just bringing you back to a moment in
yeah.
your life, probably unlike anything else, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'm just very nostalgic.
Oh,
and so when
talk
I
to
listen to
Rothman.
old
The
music,
nostalgia-
it's
First
the
just
nostalgia
First of all, don't
king.
talk to Rothman.
like I don't need to hear any of this new crap. This is what these kids are listening to.
Oh, yeah.
Bodie J. Rami's saying, Bobby, turn your mic up. So we may have another
I don't
issue
know
with
what I
Bobby's
can't
mic.
hear myself very well, but I thought that was just my headphones.
It could be something else there. We'll fix that. Same thing happened yesterday.
Keep talking, Carp.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I got a mic volume
Let's do a
thing
mic
here.
check.
Is that better? Yeah.
Oh, that's better
There we
right
go.
there. Yes.
I have a mic volume button on here. I've never
Nice.
once touched it.
That's
but
good.
the Yahtzees that come in here after us, like I don't know what all they
First
do.
of
It was
all,
a Diet Pepsi's just
Did you
sitting
say
on
the
Are you kidding
Yahtzees
me?
that coming here after us?
Like who doesn't
It
throw
was
away
like
their
full.
There's a Diet Pepsi
Well,
here?
I have a name.
There was a Diet Pepsi here?
Yes, I was sitting right there.
I cannot believe there are people who adults, and this is how they do it because I yell at my kids every time when they get up. Take your plate, take your trash, go throw it away, put it in the dishwasher. And the thing is, if you don't correct your kids, they grow up to be something that you hate. And that's something that I hate.
I would agree.
People that don't pick up after themselves. Like when we'd go in the other studio.
And it was full. First off, what if it spilled? And I know, I think we all
I once got yelled at by Greg in here for having a cup of water, and he's like, if it falls on the board, that's just like a $5,000 board. I go, well, I'll pay for it. And he goes, I don't care. And I'm like, you just told me how much it costs. So what are you telling me that for? Is that preventative or not? Like, I'm not going to spill my glass.
And I know at least at our old studios back at the old building, which is 7 years ago now, there was this little sticker on the doors that said no food or drink in here. I was like, okay.
I'm going to talk for 3 hours. I might need something to drink.
But we'll set it on the floor.
Put your water down.
We'll take, the pre, steps ahead there and try to not have anything too bad happen. But to leave an open pop can of Diet Pepsi,
I think they call that
sitting on the table
in the legal business an open container.
Yes.
Good call by you, Bob.
And by the way, this person obviously cracked it open, took, I don't know, it couldn't have been a sip or two because it was still completely full. And then just to leave it, especially in a space that it's
filled
you want to leave that crap at your desk. And it's a very public space. You want to leave that crap at your desk? I wouldn't do that, but go for it. I'm not going to. Might have stopped your little cubicle, but
I'm not going Seinfeld, and I'm not going to ask you to name names. Do you think you know who it was?
I believe so.
Okay,
yes.
That's fine.
Because also normally when I come in this morning, when I come in in the morning, the studio is I'll say just blank. So the monitors behind us, the lights and everything are just off. Computers signed out of the other streams. Well, when I came in, everything was the show had just ended, and the person literally just must have got up out of this chair and walked away. And
was it warm
the show
or
that was
cold?
left up, it was pretty specific. I think there was just one person, so could have been two, I guess. I don't know.
Was it warm or cold?
Had to be warm. The can.
I guess honestly, I just grabbed it and dumped it out. So it was,
you should have fingerprinted, DNA'd it like they do in the.
Did you dump it in the sink and then throw it away? Or
yeah, I went out to the sink.
Okay, all
he's
right.
a responsible human.
Yeah.
He's not going to throw a full pop.
Because then the janitor's got to come in. That's not his
full pop in there.
responsibility.
I'm not saying you screwed up my grocery shop experience because you didn't. I'm a good person. I normally put the cart back.
Oh, get out!
No,
of
wait,
here.
no. Normally
you might
I
have
do.
lost the show privilege.
No,
for
stop.
today.
Listen. Normally I've always done
Volume
that.
doesn't equal correctness. You don't have to yell at me.
Normally, I put the cart back. But
Hopefully
I'm telling
all
you
the
right
time.
now. Okay, I have to do it all the time now because if I ever think you know what, I'll just put it right here. I'm like, no, you know what? Someone will tell Carp I didn't put it here, and then I'll get busted on the radio.
You know what the worst thing is that I'm glad that helps with it.
Okay.
But I'm really sad that that's the reason why.
I'll just stop.
Instead of just being a good person.
I'm a good person, Bob.
No, if you don't put your shopping cart back, you're not. If you leave open pop cans out and leave them for other people to pick up, you're not really a good person.
If I do a bunch of great things in life, but don't always put the shopping cart back, I'm a bad person.
O.J. Simpson made the Hall of Fame. All right? I mean, listen, you're not judged off your best moments. You're judged off your worst. And that's the sad thing.
I have a question for you. It's 6:13.
You could build a lot of bridges in this world. My coach said you do one thing, that's what you'll be known for the rest of your life. Not a bridge builder, but something else.
Should we break now and go back to this date in history?
No, we're going to do it right now.
Fine, do it.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Do it.
It is Wednesday, July 29th, the 210th day of the year, $1.55 remaining in this 2026. This date, big day for Germany, big day for the world. 1921, the Adolf Hitler becomes the leader of the National Socialist
21?
Germany Workers' Party. Yeah.
Wow, I knew that earlier.
Coach, you don't take over a continent overnight.
I thought it was 31,
Rome wasn't built
though.
today. The Third Reich wasn't built in a day.
just saying.
Instead of Rome, people should start throwing that out there. The Third Reich wasn't built.
Nazi Germany.
It took him a while before he changed it to the Nazis and then started telling he really wanted to kill all the Jews and Poles.
If he just showed up day one with that,
you don't want to
tougher sell.
You don't lead that. You kind of lure them in first.
Shopping carts and coupons and
give them some candy. Ask them to get in the van.
Yeah.
You don't tell them what's going to happen before that. Hey, there's some puppies and candy in here. Come on, hop in my van. Let's see what's going on. This date, 1948, the 14th Olympiad. After 12 years, caused by the hiatus of World War II, the first Olympics since Berlin opened in London.
V for victory. Victory not in war, not in wealth, not in tyranny, but in sportsmanship and in peace.
I want to just say this real quickly.
Please.
On the shopping cart return, someone in the Jay Rami in the chat said, I've gone off on boomers on it. And I have to listen to people that are a little bit older. They're like, well, I'm giving people jobs. I'm like, no. Their job is to get the cart from the cart corral, not pick your cart up from wherever randomness. And by the way, it's unsafe. They blow around. They hit other people's cars. They go into random parking spots. It's not okay.
I saw one the other day where it was like I'm in my car in somebody else's cart. I saw it like flexing. And I was like, oh, that's
going to go hit somebody's car.
That's
it's terrible.
Poorly. And it did. It like rammed into someone like, oh.
All right. This date 1957. Tonight, starring Jack Parr, premieres on NBC, becoming the first modern-day talk show. A lot of trumpets today.
That's a good thing, Bob.
National
Trumpets are good.
Broadcasting Company and its affiliated stations from coast to coast present the new Tonight, starring Jack Parr. And it's all live from New York.
Parr with 2 A's.
2 A's or 2 R's?
2 A's. P-A-A-R.
All right. Is it John Parr that's saying St. Elmo's fire?
Yes, he did. Yes.
There you go. Look at that.
Man in motion.
Man, all I need is a pair of wheels.
Yes.
This day, 1958, Dwight Eisenhower signs a bill creating NASA. 1960.
I just watched Apollo 13 the other night.
It's good.
That was good.
On the contrary, sir, I believe this will be our finest hour.
That's the greatest thing, yes.
Yeah.
This will be the biggest disaster NASA's ever had. With all due respect, sir, I believe this will be our finest hour. God, what a great line.
It's really Ed Harris just flexing hard.
Yeah.
It is.
This date, 1965, the first of 4,101st Airborne land in Vietnam. And then in 1967, The Doors hitting number 1 with Light My Fire.
Girl, we couldn't get much higher.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Sorry, I'm breaking the rules. Come on, baby, light my fire.
I told you no more singing.
I know.
I will walk out of this. I will walk out of the studio.
You won't.
You want to try me? Please don't.
Don't sing anymore.
Don't test my conviction. I asked you not to. I gave you a little leeway.
And the fans kind of voted. Not kind of. They did.
Off the island. If I sang, I'd let you know. I don't.
There was a secret poll.
There wasn't a secret poll.
Maybe.
This date, 1978, the Grease soundtrack hits number 1.
Seriously, good off that. Try me.
All right, for the 4th or 5th time, it's pronounced J. Romy.
Fine.
So I'm sorry, Jay.
Okay, Jay. I'm sorry, Jay.
I said what I said. I don't know what I said, but it wasn't that.
Okay.
This date, 1978. Whenever I Call You Friend by Kenny Loggins and Stevie Nicks is released. I knew that was Stevie Nicks. I never knew that was Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
You know who Kenny Loggins is?
Yeah, Kenny Loggins.
Danger Zone.
Yeah, if you
Volume
give me
doesn't
a
equal
second,
correctness.
I was going to get there.
Exactly.
You got one more.
Footloose,
Yeah, we
Danger
got
Zone.
see, Footloose, yes.
He's
Footloose
got a
is
number.
good,
His
yeah.
greatest hits is really good.
Stevie Nicks did a song with him, did one with Don Henley, also one with Tom Petty.
There we go.
All big hits.
This day, 1981, 700 million people worldwide watch Charles, Prince of Wales, and Lady Diana Spencer get married at St. Paul's Cathedral.
And the periscopes are up outside, trying to get through the railings. Cameras, my goodness, how much film has been taken today, all along the route. We must hope it all comes out. The cheers go up, the flags wave. Ah, yes, the curtains are being drawn back by the footman, and we can just see the Princess of Wales and the Prince.
Didn't end well.
I mean, it did not. There was 4.5 billion people in 1981. So that was about 20% of the population of the world. And I don't even know what percent of the rest of that population had television access.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember when
it's 45 years ago.
What's the oldest? Not Charles or Prince
Harry.
His older brother.
Edward.
No. Is it Edward?
I can't remember.
When he got married, when him and his wife got married, there was over 1 billion. I remember watching that.
I remember, Bob, what a big deal was when it did happen.
Prince William.
Okay, I was 10 years old, and it was. I remember just the spectacle of it and everyone talking about it, leading into it, and then watching it.
Oh goodness. And then this date, 2015. Bodie mentioned this. The Eagles aren't making any new music. I don't know if this was just in your subconscious because of that. But the Eagles played their last live performance with Glenn Frey, closing with Desperado.
Why don't you come to your senses? Come down from your fences.
Open the gate.
Damn
good
it, Emily.
One. That's good. I love it.
I had tickets to that, Bob.
To that show.
Not to that show, but I had tickets when the Eagles first came through Columbus after the Hell Freezes Over tour.
Yeah.
And had tickets with the fiancé.
97, I want to say.
Contestant number 1. And then we bought tickets when they came out. I broke it off with her. Tickets in her name. Didn't take. We took someone else.
Okay. There you go. Some birthdays today. I mean, this is a big one for the Axis. Benito Mussolini, born on this date, 1883. Peter Jennings, born on this date, 1938. The ABC World News anchor from 83 to 05.
Peter, what's your average day like?
I think the most exciting thing about this business is there isn't an average day. Partly because the world is not, there's no consistency in what's happening in the world every day. And we have to go with the ebb and flow of that. It's an old cliche, I guess, or it's a cliche. It's a constant education. Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine doing anything else.
Scott Steiner of WWE fame turning 64 today, and then turning 60, one of the great women in country music, Miss Martina McBride.
Let freedom ring, let the white dove sing, let the whole world know that today is the day of reckoning.
Oh, Bodie, I was excited to give this one to Zeke for you. When, born in 1993, turning his Larry Bird years old, Mr. Dak Prescott.
Now 3rd down and 13, blitz coming. Prescott able to get out of the end zone, and now airs it out for Lamb. He's got it. He's gone. When he gets there, it's a touchdown, Cowboys.
And speaking of, did you see what my
Look
boy
at that.
showed up to training camp
That's
yesterday? And little 1996 Super Bowl champion winning T-shirt.
That looks enhanced.
It's got to be a good
Are those
omen,
calves
right?
that big?
Oh, that's
a
it.
peace sign too. He said we're going to win 2 in the next
Oh,
2
the
years.
crew socks help pop the calves. That's a good deal for him.
Telling you, NFC East champions, Bob.
I'm not against that. That's not a bad take.
It's going to happen.
I mean, Philly is good. We'll see what they're doing without A.J. Brown and how they all recovered. The Giants, kind of rebuild. We'll see if Washington can bounce back. I mean, Jerry Jones said he feels so good about this team, he might add another big piece.
Ooh.
It's already talked to another owner about it.
Hey, Micah's on the injured list, by the way, so great trade by the Cowboys. They showed him.
It's not done yet.
It's pup list. It was beginning of the season. It's fine.
Turning 42 today, one of the stars of How I Met Your Mother, Mr. Josh Radnor.
Go say hi. I can't just go say hi. I need a plan. I'm gonna wait until she goes to the bathroom and I'll strategically place myself by the jukebox. So that
Hi, have you met Ted?
Hi.
Let me guess. Ted.
Never saw a full episode of that. I've seen so many clips, though, I feel like I know the show.
I've watched some of it. It wasn't one of my favorites, but there's some very funny parts. And then passing away on this date, 1890, the man that cut his ear off and shot himself 2 days ago, finally passing, the famed painter, Vincent van Gogh.
Did he shoot himself over the girl?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because, you already cut your ear off. If you don't get her then, it's like, is shooting yourself the next way to get her?
Oh, maybe.
Sure.
I mean, he couldn't wait it out 100 years till his paintings were selling for like $50 million. That would have been pretty good.
Poor business decision by him.
It is International Chicken Wing Day.
Ooh.
I think all Roosters wings are 99 cents today.
Nice.
How about that?
Are they really?
Oh, yeah. Pair that up with some of their draft specials, which are available every day. It could be a pretty good deal for you. Yeah. It's National Lasagna Day, National Lipstick Day, and hopefully not a big deal, but Rain Day. Don't like that one at all. And those historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date, Wednesday, July 29th, the 210th day of the year, and $1.55 remaining in this 2026.
Good Lord, Bob, you did it. Well done by you on that. I don't know how you got it done by 6:25, but that's very impressive by you. Coming up next, Ohio State's got a new jersey sponsor. Ohio State had a record until they didn't. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I moved back to Columbus with my beautiful wife and our two amazing daughters and our golden retriever, Harley. This community brought me back because this is where I feel connected. Where my daughters were born, this is my home. And that is to say, I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver, and Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join the league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes. Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Bob, let's do this first.
All right.
Because Bodie says in the show sheet, video and VMix. Bodie, is this relevant?
Which one is it?
I don't know. It just says Ohio State to be the first ever jersey patch sponsor for Ohio State Athletics and Video VMix. You want to do it? Or can you do it?
Here is,
yeah.
Right,
Fish sent this over. This is important.
Oh,
here is the best in the business, Mr. Paul Keels.
History. It runs deep here. The moments. The victories. The legacy. So many chapters. And the next one is already being written. This is more than just a logo on a jersey. It's a commitment to Ohio State in our student athletes and in our community. This isn't just about one athlete, one team, or one sport. It's built to elevate every student athlete that walks through our doors. Brought to life by a partner with more than 150 years of experience serving Ohio. A part of our past, our present, and now our future. Today, two iconic world-class brands join forces on the biggest stage in college sports.
According to reports, Bob, that's going to bring in about $17 million a year for Ohio State for across.
You know who reported that?
Pete Thamel.
There you go.
Bob, I do my show research.
Well, then why don't you say according to Pete Thamel?
I was going to say it eventually. It was part of my thing. I was going to lead into it. According to reports, that would say $17 million. At least that's what Pete Thamel has said. That's where I was going with it. I've got this whole thing scripted. But anyway, so that was oh my gosh, because the Big 12 got $20 million for the monster deal to name after their conference and the conference patch and all of that. But the $17 million was a big deal until Bodie decided that Notre Dame should get more. And Notre Dame's deal with SoFi is between $18 and $20 million per year. But the people that want to complain about it.
Complain about what? The patch or the mount?
Patch. The patch. I think
the patch in general.
Yes, I think that you will see traditionalists, which is also code for over 50, will complain that, oh, man, come on, seriously. But it's the way of the world now, Bob. If you want to compete, if you want to, and I know that we've had the conversations about, well, does it really affect ticket prices? What does it affect? Where is this $17 million per year going? It's the way of the world now. Get as much as you can, and then will it affect the fans? Hopefully, it affects the ticket prices for fans, but it's.
Well, they're not going down. They just might not go up
as much
as fast.
As much. They'll go up every year. Right, Bob? They're going to go up every year. Is that fair?
I don't think they go up every year. They have incremental jumps every three or 4 years. It seems like, and they kind of announce that and they layer it out there for you. But yeah, I mean between that, the NIL situation with players, they're trying to build a major addition to the Woody Hayes facility. There's a lot of things that they need to do, and all those things cost money.
The jersey thing, I don't care, Bob. I don't. And look, if I was somebody who every year was like, oh my gosh, I'm buying that jersey, then maybe I'd be like, that's annoying.
Does the patch come on the jersey that you buy now?
I think it does, doesn't it?
There you go.
I kind of believe it does. I can't believe they would. I can't believe Chase would say, "Yeah, we'll put the money in, but by the way, the public jerseys you sell don't have to have it." And there's other thing that
I never even thought about that.
But there are things like if I remember correctly, Bob, and I'm going to look at this right. I'm going to give you the statement because there is something about it's not just it is that, yes, but it's beyond that though. It's J.P. Morgan Chase will provide NIL opportunities to Ohio State athletics. Chase will also provide financial literacy resources to Ohio State athletes through dedicated programming. So they're also a presenting sponsor now of the 1922 Club.
Yeah. I mean, it was a package that they put together.
Right. So all of that's part of it. By the way, Chase cardholders get access to special ticket offers, game day savings, premium experience, and other opportunities designed to deepen fans' connection to Ohio State, to the Buckeyes. The jersey patch will only appear in black or white. Michael Jackson. It's black, it's white.
Well, yeah. And they had Ryan Day when he came up there, and he's like, yeah, Chase sounds great, but isn't their logo blue? And they're like, yeah, we know that. We're going to take care of it. And so, yes, it's going to appear. It's got the red corners, black and white on the patch. I don't think that it really changes the aesthetic of the jersey. Honestly, I looked more through the fact that the gray sleeves were back more than anything else and how great that looked. And maybe they did that in concert with this. I know that back, I talked a little bit yesterday. I mean, they were heading back to, end of bowl practice or bowl, the playoff games into the spring, and they'd been working on this. There were multiple suitors. I mean, Chase is the biggest bank in America. They have the largest holdings of anybody. And it's almost $5 billion in assets or $5 trillion in assets. I mean, they're big. And all their operations are located here in Columbus. It's a nice fit. It's a very great brand. Jamie Dimon, their CEO, comes and speaks, the different branches of the college on an annual basis. He's talked to the football team. And if you're going to partner and do this, this makes perfect sense. I mean, you literally picked one of the biggest brands on the block, national brand that you're going to be able to find. And, I think Ross did a great job making sure this was pretty seamless. It looks good. You're maximizing dollars from it. There's nobody else in the Big Ten, I would think, that would be able to get more from this. And so you should feel pretty good about it.
So a year from now, you think Ohio State will still have the most or the best deal on that? Like, do you think that now that Ohio State's, because they're the first ones, right? Like in the Big Ten, they're the first ones to do this. Does that mean that obviously the next one, I can't believe, Michigan, Penn State, USC, Oregon, will they go?
We'll see. I mean, some of it goes to population base. Ohio is the 7th largest state in the country. Chase has a huge presence here.
Right.
Their numbers and their ratings, the visibility of it, all of those things come into play. And so it's like USC in a bigger city, sure. But do people watch their games? Do they go to their games? Do they care about their games? There's a lot to put into the calculus here of how to do it. Because when you're partnering with somebody, their brand becomes synonymous with yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so if things are happening off the field, Michigan, if other stuff's going on, do you want to have, when they show B-roll of the coach and players on the sideline talking about craziness going on, do you want your brand associated and affiliated with that? So Ohio State, has been in a pretty good spot since Ryan Day's been here with all of their off-the-field things or lack thereof, really over the last 10 to 15 years. So I don't know that anybody in the Big Ten will outdo it. I know the report that Notre Dame is slightly above them. Okay, we can nitpick this. No one's ever going to see the actual details of what these deals look like.
And the part about the NIL stuff they talk about, there's all kinds of other layers
all
to
the
it.
Different components of it. No one's going to know for certain. It's dude, if you're in a ballpark where people are reportedly, because they're not even, Ross wouldn't even confirm that. And it's no school is going to confirm that. Now it's leaked out, so I'm guessing to say that it's probably in that ballpark, give or take $1 million here or there. But the exact structure of the deal, how it's going to look, no one really knows. Other than the people that carved that thing. So I get it, but I think it's going to be one of the best 2 or 3 deals you're going to find.
What I appreciate, Bob, is the forward-thinking creativity of the athletic department to do something like this. It's a big number. When you consider the fact the Big 12 sold out their conference naming rights for $20 million, and there's going to be Monster, was it Monster? Is that right, Bodie, for Big 12? Yeah. I think it is. Monster, will have stuff on the jerseys for everybody, and that was $20 million divided among, I don't know, there's 16 teams in the Big 12 now?
Everybody got about one. I think everyone got $2 million.
Okay, $2 million, okay. Or whatever the number was.
There was
one plus.
$1 to $2 million is what everybody received. I forget what. I don't even know. I don't think they gave an exact number of that. It was all reported stuff.
Right. You're right. All the stuff is going to be. It's going to be speculative. But the fact that Ohio State got $17 million and the Big 12 got $20 million, let's just say those are the numbers, then that's a pretty good deal for Ohio State.
But are you surprised by that?
Am I surprised by it? I am surprised I'm not surprised Ohio State got 17. I'm probably more surprised the Big 12 didn't get more than 20, if that makes sense.
Does that surprise you, Bodie?
I would say no, just because even when you look at the best teams in the Big 12, what's Texas Tech even in their own state?
Yeah.
The third biggest behind Texas and A&M.
Hopefully, if SMU or Baylor or TCU, TCU's played for a national championship in the last 3 years.
Gosh, yeah.
BYU.
And then Brigham Young, it's another one that's just there's not huge brands in the sport as a whole. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Monster patch and sponsorship was for the Big 12 as a whole. But each individual team can still add their own.
They can. Yes, they can. Yes.
No, I'm sure they can't add maybe Red Bull or something, right?
There might
be a competing sponsor there. But, I get which, I kind of, even as somebody who doesn't really care about any of the schools in the Big 12 as a fan per se, I hope we don't turn into, NASCAR. It's here's 7 different things on our.
I don't think Ohio State.
I don't think the big time schools will, because I don't think they'll need to. But even as somebody who doesn't really care either way about Baylor football, I don't want their uniform to turn into, NASCAR even. Is it some of the soccer teams, right? The actual logo of the sponsor's bigger than the
it's like the team
brand of the team.
That's what it is. The team.
Yeah.
At 7:00, at that statement, we'll play some sound from Petiti about that fact about will the Big Ten go to a conference logo patch. But coming up next with some quick hitters, Morning Juice.
Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join the league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Gabe and Ride. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes. Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to speak up, or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thitoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
Not every weather impact day is dangerous, but plenty are inconvenient. Heavy rain during the drive home, high wind, storms that change your plans. That's where our weather impact team comes in, with the details that matter the most. You can find numbers anywhere, but we give you answers. The why, the when, and what it means for you. Live, local, whenever you need it. No waiting, no guesswork. Stay in the know and be prepared with 10 TV. We know weather.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Ohio State fans, your first look at the 2026 Buckeyes is here. Join us August 6th through the 8th at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center for Ohio State Football Training Camp. Presented by Safe Light and Bob's Discount Furniture. Watch practice live, get autographs, take photos with select players, and experience the start of a new season up close. Tickets are limited and going fast. Just $48 for general admission or upgrade to VIP for shaded seating. Refreshments and more. Secure your spot today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com. Don't miss your chance to be part of the Buckeye Nation's kickoff to 2026. Bob, last year was the first year I experienced you doing your annual ritual of what would we call it? The 40. It used to be.
It was our conditioning test.
Okay, conditioning
when
test.
I played with Tress. It's like all those guys would remember it.
Okay.
I actually made it harder. There was like things that they used to do and give more time for second 10 and all that. But it's basically 20 half-gassers, 30 seconds rest.
Okay.
On different times, depending on what position you played.
So you did it last year, and I remember how many people, like just fans, were kind of starting to
trying to talk to me while I was running.
Well,
There's only a couple, and I'm like, hey, man, just can you give me like 10 more minutes?
Okay. Let me
like, I'm literally like trying to get air.
I can't breathe.
I have 30 seconds to get air. Like, I'm not trying to talk to you in between this.
Bodie, can you say listen like Lou Holtz? I was there, Bob, and I was trying to corral people away from you. I didn't get credit for it. I'm not looking for credit for it, but I did try my best to shield them.
It's amazing.
No, I'm not trying to get credit for it, Bob. I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, though, I did do that for you. My question for you.
If I said that in a different manner, I'm not trying to get credit for it.
I'm not trying to get credit for it.
I'm not
They're
saying.
do Trump, that's fine. Trump and Holtz will do it all.
You just naturally do that. It's not even an impression. It's amazing.
No, listen, Bob. I said to people, hey,
I'm not saying I was
said,
doing
hang on
it,
just a
but
second. I did do it. I said, guys, just wait. He's halfway through all those things. It was. By the way, for me, it was amazing to watch because Schlegs is there encouraging you. He can't do it this year, right? Schlegs can't do it.
Not if I do it on that day. That's what if they want to film it, I'm trying to figure out how we want to do that. If they want to film this,
it's gonna get filmed.
Well, it's gonna get filmed if I do it while you guys are there. I mean, you act like the only days I go there are that day. It's end of the week. I'd rather do it earlier in the week. I did it end of the week last year because it was like on my birthday, so it worked out pretty well. But I can't have Schlegs. It'll be tough because they'll be like starting practice, so he'll have obligations. Whereas if I do it on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, he could be there to film, be there to be my encourager and timer.
Goose, right? Without dying. Okay, if let's say we have to do it on Friday. All right, let's say Friday is the day it has to get done.
I would do it Thursday. I'm not doing the second day.
Let's say Thursday's the day. Thursday is the day it has to get done. And Bodie's out there with us. And I'm out there with us.
Yeah.
And they're practicing. Who are you going to ask to be Schlegs? Me or Bodie?
The timer?
Yes.
Probably Bodie. He follows directions better than you.
Even though I was successful at velvet roping everybody else last year.
Those are two different job qualifications. If I give you specific instructions, which I do daily here, which you cease to follow.
That's fine.
So, I mean, like...
I had another job last year, too. Do you remember this or not? Do you remember the other job I had last year?
My dad said you have two jobs.
Okay. I did have a specific job last year.
I'll pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
That's fine. Is that Kevin?
Kevin Hart.
Or
not Kevin Hart.
Kevin
James.
Kevin James. Same thing.
Would have been a different
it's
vibe
Sandler,
with
right?
Kevin
Was
Hart.
Sandler that one too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bob, do you know I had a specific job last year assigned to me by Schlegs?
What?
Oh, you don't know?
No.
Okay. He said to me, Tito, keep count of how many he does. So Schlegs did the timing, and he said to me, he would say to me, Tito, how many is that? 12, 13, 17, whatever. Like, but Schlegs would do the time, and Schlegs would encourage you, but I was given responsibility.
Okay.
It feels like
count to 20.
That's fine.
Is that why you had your shoes off?
That's what I got. Yes. Okay, fine. I counted to 20 and also had the velvet rope out there, Bob.
Okay.
I actually literally had a physical velvet rope, and I would hold it out and say, folks, behind the velvet rope, please. But you're telling me you would pick Bodie over me still?
To do the timing, yes, because it's very specific, and I want it done a very precise way.
But we don't know what day you're doing it yet.
I haven't decided, but if Tyler wants to film it, which he said he did, I'm like, all right, well, I'll wait until whatever date that is. It gives me a couple more days to train this week because this is the worst shape I've been in the last 5 years for it. So it's going to be more of just a toughness thing. But let's hit some quick hitters here, Bodie.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Wednesday. We'll head to the NFL. Pretty NFL-heavy themed here, quick hitters today. Starting up in Cleveland, the Browns and Denzel Ward, defensive back, the 5-time Pro Bowl corner, have agreed to a 2-year extension worth $62.2 million. That includes $52.3 million in guaranteed money for the former Ohio State Buckeye, and at $31.1 million annual average value. Ward is now the highest paid defensive back in NFL history for the second time in his career. So, Carp, I know there's kind of been some discussion this offseason, especially after the Myles Garrett trade. Would it make sense to move on for Cleveland? I personally never really loved that. I think the Garrett haul was worth it, but I don't think you'd get anywhere near that haul for Denzel Ward. And I know it's a younger team. It's going to take them maybe a couple years for the Browns to get back where they're trying to go here, but I don't think that means you just have to reset everything, right? Like, it's fine to have some veterans and some good older players in there to guide the way.
They're trying to window this so they're not atrocious. And by the way, Denzel Ward, Cleveland guy.
Ohio.
Went to Nordonia, I believe.
Meteorologist.
Played at Ohio State and has played his whole career with Cleveland. This probably looks like he's going to finish his career in Cleveland. He's a very good corner. He's a great guy. He's a great representation of the organization. And so I get it. Like, the trust the process thing with Philly, like if you tear everything down and get rid of all your older players, then you have no veteran leaders to help develop and establish culture. And that's why like you've got to keep some of these guys. And Denzel's one of those dudes you want to keep. As long as he was good with staying there and knowing what he was going to be in, which I think he's pretty aware. he grew up in Cleveland. I think he's generally aware of the situation he's in. And he signed this, and like that's what the money's for. So like go be a leader. Take us through the rest of your career. He's one of my favorite Buckeyes, man. Just absolutely great guy.
Yeah, I look at it, and I'm good for him getting the bag. That's wonderful. He has certainly, served his time. And that's almost like, did you see the Plaxico Burress thing about prison, comparing prison to the Jets?
Yeah.
And so
felt the same walking into both.
Right, they're a bunch of losers and all stuff. And I hope that's not the case with Denzel. I hope that Denzel gets to taste some postseason success at some point, but good soldier. That soldier's the wrong word to use with the Browns. I shouldn't do that. A good teammate and a good representative of the franchise and the region. He's very important there. I just hope, Bob, that when it's all said and done, he does get a chance to play meaningful games in January.
Probably not with the Browns. Not sure how that's going to happen.
Bob. I hope it does, though.
All right, next up here, guys, on the exact opposite end of things here, Baker Mayfield, he's officially reported to Tampa Bay's training camp without a new deal in hand. And ESPN reported on Tuesday that Baker will play out the final year of his contract this season before he becomes an unrestricted free agent next March. Mayfield also reportedly is unfazed about the potential of being franchise tagged next offseason. If Tampa Bay does decide to do that, it'd be about $50 million for the quarterback there. Sources close to the situation also told ESPN that Mayfield is looking for a deal that reflects his performance and is more in line with what quarterbacks of a similar caliber are making. Tito, you think this could actually be, what percentage chance do you think this is Baker's last year there in Tampa Bay?
I think it's about a 10% chance this is last year. I think that they will end up re-signing him. It's like there's a big jump between, not just dollars-wise, I'm saying like the number of quarterbacks that do it, like making around $30 million to making more than $50 million. And I don't think Mayfield is at the level of a $50 million quarterback, but I think he's better than the $30 million quarterback just based on what he's done. And look, if you look at what the Browns quarterback situation has been since Baker left, I don't think Tampa Bay wants to experience a similar situation there, Bob.
You saying he's going back to the Browns?
No, I'm saying I think Tampa Bay says, you know what, we don't want to be the Browns. We're going to make sure we
What if someone else offers him more? What's your threshold then? Because now he's going to hit free agency, or they're going to have to pay him $50 million, which is going to be incredibly punitive.
He is right now 16th among quarterbacks at $33.33 million a year.
And I'm curious if he wants top 5 or top 10. I'd pay him top 10. I would not pay him top 5.
I'm with you on that. I would do the same thing. I don't think somebody else will pay him top 5. Do you think he will? That they will? Like,
there's a lot of desperate people in this world.
There are desperate people in this world, but look at the most desperate. Jets, Browns. Right? I mean, those are the two most desperate, I would think, right? As far as looking at quarterback situations.
I'm talking about teams that are close that have like...
Yeah, I would take Minnesota's more desperate than one of those two teams.
And his agent probably knows, like, if this whole thing implodes in Minnesota or, like, Atlanta, you can go in there and be the guy.
Stefanski, Baker.
Bring them back together.
Yes, let's do
feels so good.
Okay, we've now said Cleveland, the Jets, Minnesota, Atlanta. Is there a fifth team that's desperate?
I don't know that Cleveland would bring him back, and I don't know that the Jets would bring him in. I'm bringing in Baker Mayfield if I feel like I have a roster that's capable of going and doing something.
Yeah.
Like, if Matt Stafford retired, and I'd seen enough from Ty Simpson this year to know that he's not going to be ready, I'm going to have, like, let's say they win a Super Bowl. I'm like, hey, we're going to try to run this. Everybody else wants to come back, and Stafford's ready to retire. I mean, let's go bring in Baker.
I'm trying to figure out like the top teams after like a year from now that could be quarterback desperate. And you're right, Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland will bring him back. The Jets, I don't know if they'd bring him in. The Jets, if they're
Pittsburgh, if they feel like they've kind of got it going.
Yeah.
I mean, there's teams out there that are kind of good, and they would be better if they had a better quarterback.
Did you see what McCarthy said yesterday about Pittsburgh with the quarterback situation?
I did not.
11:30 a.m. today is when they start with practices at Latrobe.
Mm-hmm.
And he has said that Mason Rudolph's going to take second-team snaps and that Will Howard and Drew Aller will split the third-team reps. And in OTAs, it was Will Howard getting second-team reps.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of reading into that. Does that mean that, Rudolph has the inside track right now on being the number 2 quarterback? And I believe only 5 times since 2013 has a team kept 4 quarterbacks on their roster heading into the season. And so, look, Aller's going to be there. Rodgers will be there. It's going to be either Rudolph or Howard. And the fact that they've got Rudolph right now taking the number 2 reps.
Get back to me after the first week of training camp.
Okay.
If they keep it like that, then I would say it's really bad. But they may have had this plan all along going in.
Right. The fact that Howard got the second team reps.
They may have said that and told Rudolph, listen, we're going to give him the second team during OTAs. You will start training camp.
Right.
As the backup quarterback. And we'll see. And after 4 or 5 days, maybe Aller, maybe Will, who knows?
It's interesting. The Pittsburgh media seems to be out there saying, hey, Howard should be the guy. Ben Roethlisberger also, who doesn't like, by the way, Mason Rudolph. They've had their run-ins. But he has also said that you got to have Will Howard there, not Mason Rudolph.
You know what Mason Rudolph is?
Well, yes.
And by the way, if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt for more than 2 games, Mason Rudolph ain't coming in. He's not your white man.
If we're being honest, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
if we're being real.
But at least then you're finding out about Will Howard.
You play Howard half a year and play Aller half a year and say,
at least you have an idea.
Hey, you just be like Joker. You just snap that pull stick over your leg and say, "We're having tryouts, boys. Limited spots."
Yeah, we got one position. Yeah, we got aggressive expansion. Aggressive expansion. And by the way, then also I think though, Bob, the smart move would be if Aaron Rodgers goes down, go out and get 12 gauge, right? Let's do that.
Cardale?
Yes, let's bring in Cardale.
I was just with Cardale last night. I don't think he's exactly
He's not
ready.
in football shape, but Bob, he can get there though. We don't know that.
I don't know if that's true either. I love Cardale, but he's a beefy dude right now.
He's not small. Coming up next, we'll play that sound, I promise you, from Tony Petitti. Also, SEC and Big Ten must decide on the Protect College Sports Act. We'll talk about that next. Morning Juice.
TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up, or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver, and Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join the league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes. Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Attack and dominate, YouTubers. You're locked into Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice, Tito, Bobby, Bodie. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. Appreciate all the love in the chat as well. Bodie's cousin, very active in the chat.
I'm not related to that person, either one of them. I know you kind of love throwing that around sometimes, but let's just be clear on that.
Coakley's sane.
Sure.
Ish. Steve Kerr's not. Anyway, Ohio State signed the deal with Chase to get the logo on the jerseys of all their sports.
Yeah, which initially I thought it was just football. I didn't realize it was all their sports, which I guess that probably makes more sense. Is the SoFi deal for all of Notre Dame, Bodie?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. If you're a big national company, you're going to want it all.
And I like the fact that it's Michael Jackson, black or white. That's all it's going to be. It's not going to be some blue logo.
They were not
going
to put an alternating color. They weren't going to have any green or yellow or especially not blue on that jersey. Then people would have been upset.
The Big 12 is going to have a logo, like a patch, conference type patch with Monster because of their deal. And Tony Petitti, Big Ten commissioner at Media Days yesterday out in Chicago, addressed the fact, will the Big Ten eventually have a conference patch?
About almost 2 years ago, we started to begin the analysis of what jersey patches would be. It was obviously that was coming over the last 2 seasons. It took some time to get it approved. So we started doing work with some media consultants to figure out the best path. Does it make sense to allow the institutions to do it themselves? Are there certain sports you want to hold back? Should we have a conference policy? Our analysis and the work we did with our members led to the decision that it's best for the conference to pursue those decisions at an institution-based level, and that's where we are. It doesn't mean around championships you might do something different with an additional patch, but the core thing, we think it was best left up to the strength of our institutions, let them do the deals they need to do, and kind of go from there. So that's where we are, but that was done after a lot of consulting and work with the group.
So, go ahead, Bob.
Well, I wanted to figure out, and probably the bigger schools were like, we're not selling space on our jersey to help Purdue, Maryland, Rutgers, and so we can get $10 million when we could get 17. They can go get 5 or 6 from whatever they can do, and that'll be their opportunity to do that. And in some situations, some of those schools are better in basketball than they are in football, and so if it's a total department patch, that'll be fine. And they've always had patches for bowl games and conference championship games. So that's not anything new. And those games have always been sponsored. So now it's hey, maybe little sponsorship dollars are flowing our way.
So, yeah, when I heard that, Bob, the first thing I thought of was this is a way for the Big Ten to say, even though Purdue gets essentially the same amount as Ohio State does, just based on the base number they get through all the media rights deals, Ohio State has a chance to do something separate to make more money, to separate themselves from Purdue.
What's
from
maximizing
Maryland.
your value for what you are as an independent individual university? Because it's getting untenable. We're not doing a conference patch and getting half of what we should just to help other people. We already do that and try to keep equity there. And you've proven that you can't, even if you get the same amount that we get basically from our TV deal, you still can't keep up. So we're done doing that.
I believe, Bob, in the NFL, there's only a couple of stadiums anymore that don't have some kind of corporate naming right tie-in in some way, shape, or form. I think that the Bears with Soldier Field and the Packers with Lambeau.
The last Cincinnati was one of the last ones too.
Right, but everyone
finally
else has
sold
got
that, and that was it's a public stadium for heaven's sake with public dollars. Sell the naming rights. Don't complain you don't have enough money.
And we know what's going on. The fact that for years, Bob, it seemed like the stake in the ground was there's no way the Rose Bowl will do that, and they do. It's the Rose Bowl presented by. Right. And I know that Ohio State's got the safe light on the field, on the actual field, right? Is that what safe light? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 years from now, there will be naming rights for everything, right? Like it'll be the horseshoe, the Ohio Stadium by, right? I mean, all this
I think
stuff's
that's
gonna
why
happen.
they did the field. I don't know that they'll do the stadium. I think the field was kind of a way to middle that.
Okay.
And we'll sell off the naming rights to the field because they had gotten a lot. They got a nice significant chunk for that now. And listen, that deal might continue to improve like as you move forward. I don't know what the term. And that's the other thing, like the terms of this Chase deal. Like how long is it for?
Right.
For 3 years, 5 years, a decade, or there's steps in it.
The negotiation
where
rights,
it
and then
goes
we can
up.
change it.
Yeah, do they have right of first refusal of things? Like all that stuff is in there. So I'm sure is in there, but like we're not privy to the details of it. That's stuff that I'll have to kind of figure out. But I did ask Gene one year because it's Bill Davis Stadium with Nick Swisher Field.
Right.
And I asked Gene, I was like, well, how much did Nick pay for the field? And he told me the donation he gave. I'm like, well, I'll do that for the football field. Like it wouldn't have been comfortable, but I'm
You
like,
would have?
yeah. He goes, well, it's going to be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I thought it was the same price.
Okay.
I thought you got the alumni discount.
Okay, here's my thought, Bob. Can you do something with the Bobby Carpenter red zone? How about that?
No,
it's the Bobby Carpenter red zone. On each side of the 20s, we get the Carp name.
I'll
It's
stop
cheaper.
working here before that happens.
I don't know how to interpret that, but anyway.
If I'm going to spend that much money, I'd rather just spend it on myself and not work.
Okay.
What about did you see what Boise State did this offseason for Ashton Genty and Kellen Moore on their field? So they, I don't know if it's on each side of the 50 or just one of them, but they took the yard marker I think Ashton Genty was number 2 and Kellen Moore number 11, if I'm not mistaken there, and they made it orange. It's just like kind of their way to
Yeah,
So
I
what
like
if we
that.
got a little 42-yard
I like
line
that.
scarlet?
Yeah, a little flare right there.
Yeah.
That's good.
The congressional lawmakers have said that there's a deadline of 9 a.m. today.
I love that they're putting that deadline on the Big Ten and SEC as if like they're trying to say that. The reality is, if the Big Ten and SEC don't want it to happen, none of their senators are going to vote for it.
Yeah. Right.
And that means it's not going to get passed.
Yes, and so it seems like it's almost like it's a very fake. Don't you dare cross D's line, or no, cross D's line, not D's line. It's not going to. Their deadline is. It doesn't hold the weight, Bob.
It can say they have a deadline. Like, well, you can take the current bill as comprised to the floor. Like, you can vote it out of committee and take it to the floor. But that means it's probably not going to pass. So, like, well, we're done. You're sick of you holding us hostage. Well, either change the stuff. Like Tony Petitti, there was some lines with him. He's like, well, they changed some of it. They did some other stuff, and then some of it they didn't change. Or what we wanted. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be good. The problem is that everybody's put all this crap in there, and it's like, we don't want all that. And you're never going to get it passed if that's the case. It needs to be as simple as possible. But people are like, we're stopping what they're doing and changing college football. That's fine. You can grandstand and say that as a politician. Like, I want to talk to Houston about that and see, like, what – I want to gauge the temperature of what's going on in the Senate. Like, how much people actually care about that. Because this is something that has nothing to do with the state of the country per se.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people care a lot about it, but there are areas of the country where they really don't care at all about it. So I want to kind of see where they're at and where everybody is kind of weighing in on that. So I need to do a little research on that and kind of see the process of how this would even get passed. Do they feel like it has any chance of passing, how it's currently comprised? And what messaging are you getting from Ohio State? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's the land grant institution of the state of Ohio. Like, are they for this? And if they're not, then why would you want to be for it?
Yeah.
It's been fascinating to me to watch how it, the transformation, Bob, from the power conferences. It was like, Big Ten, ACC, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12 at the time. And then it whittles down to Power 4.
Big East.
And now it's a Power 2. And just the way that all that has shifted, and it seems to me like a fairly quick period of time.
Because nothing happened for a long time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in the last 10 to 15 years, probably the last 15, with Nebraska, Colorado leaving the Big 12 and Nebraska leaving the Big 12, that was kind of the impetus of all of it. I would even go back further in saying the dissolution of the Big East and Miami and BC and Syracuse and Pitt all going and Louisville going to the ACC, and then them creating like the AAC, that was probably the first block in that happening.
And frankly, the biggest domino happened 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Oklahoma and Texas.
Like when the Pac-12 died and Oklahoma and Texas not only kind of made the Big 12 take a massive step back, but further elevated the SEC, which was already a conference that for a long time now has had a ton of sway because of what they do on the football field.
And for years, though, Bo, 80s and 90s, it was like the delineation between college football and college basketball. It seemed to me, at least, the gap was not nearly as wide as it is now. Like, the Big East was a huge freaking deal in college basketball. Yeah. And but looking now at how much it's like, it used to be like, I'll say it this way, college basketball, college football. Now it's college basketball.
Space.
College football.
Yeah.
Like the gap has gotten so wide. And that's the part that's interesting to me is watching how that happened because how much this country gets around March Madness. I mean, Madness.
Because they kept expanding it.
Yeah,
and
the regular season.
Diluted the regular season.
Yeah.
They did. But I'm saying like that little, like that snapshot though of mid-March to early April, it's as popular as college football. During that time.
For 3 weekends.
Yes. I'm saying that, but it is, though.
Because that's all that matters.
Yes. And I wonder, I hope college football doesn't get to that point where it's like all of a sudden.
They're trying.
I hope they're not, Bodie. One of the things, part of that, though, is the conference championship games. And Tony Petitti is big on going to 24 teams. He's trying to get and he's Bob, he said yesterday, he talked about the fact that the Big Ten collectively have kind of gotten off the automatic bid thing. But here is what Tony Petitti had to say about conference championship games in a 24-team playoff.
I think it's pretty much we won't be playing a championship game if we go to 24. I think that's been pretty settled. In terms of like when we make the decision as a league, are we going to support 24? That's where you start the conversation. Are you willing to give up your championship game to have the expanded playoff? I think when you do that, I think even in today's, I think there's discussion about it now. Like when you talk to the coaches up here that have played in the game as they get ready for the postseason, there's a lot of conflicting incentives. It's still very powerful to win a Big Ten championship, and teams play hard. They want to win that game, but you're talking about a pretty tough journey to go all the way through. And where you're playing next, and what happens if a team loses that game, they don't get a bye, and they have to go play, relatively quickly. So I think we just gotten past that. We think overall that if we can expand the playoff and have the access we need, we'd be willing to make that trade. As great as our championship game is, it's been, wildly successful. We've had incredible games the last couple of seasons, and but I still think we're willing to do that because we believe that access is still the most important thing.
I would ask him Tony, seriously, and I respect Tony Petitti. Do you think such and such team that finished 17th last year has any chance of winning it? And don't give me this, well, if this can happen, they can win some games. No, do they have any chance of winning it? Because if the answer is no, then which it is, why do it?
Also, do they deserve to?
Do they deserve?
Is this even worth? Is this ultimately worth it to let 8-4 Iowa in? And in that same breath, also
they had a chance to win other games.
I don't want to say that. A, that's a good point, Bob. And then B, I don't want to say ruin regular season games, but it'll significantly diminish a lot.
I have no problem if you want to go to 16 because it doesn't substantively change the format of what you're doing. But I'm okay. Could Texas and Notre Dame last year have won it? Possibly, but that's a rarity. In that and it's mostly due to how the setup was of who's getting it.
Yeah.
You have a hard time finding teams outside of the top 10 consistently that you think, I would feel good betting $100 on them that's not just literally lighting it on fire.
I mean, out of the 4 that got left out last year, which if I remember correctly was Notre Dame, BYU, Vandy, Texas. How many of those 4 you think really could have made a run? I think Notre Dame and Texas.
That's
right.
That's probably it.
BYU, I mean, they played Texas Tech twice and got smashed.
Yeah.
They kind of, sort of had their shot.
That's my point.
Vandy, maybe. But if one good team gets left out, probably not the end of the world.
Vandy, I think, could win it. They could maybe win a game or two. But I don't know if they had the ability to win 4 in a row.
I'd agree with you, and I think a lot of people would have. And if we just tweak the format to where we weren't just giving group of 5 winners in, and by the way, if the ACC's total mess of a 5-loss conference champion was in a situation, then Notre Dame and Texas would have gotten in the 12-team format.
Who do you want to be your champion?
Notre Dame.
Okay, I'm not saying Notre Dame. I'm not saying it's 15. Okay, I understand. What I'm saying is, though, do you want your best regular season team to be your champion, or the team that's hottest? Because that's where we're at now.
But I think with 12 or 16, you kind of get that anyway.
You kind of get the best of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was Ohio State the best regular season team 2 years ago? No, they weren't.
They were not.
But and it was weird because they weren't hot going into it.
No,
they were
hot when they got there.
They were talented enough to get it done.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that every team that's good enough to win it has a shot. And the problem is, there's a window there where it's like, okay, where's that delineation? Somewhere between 8 and 16 probably is where it exists. But you start putting
numbers right between those two?
Yeah, exactly. You start
12.
You start putting in the 20th team, and I'm not saying the 20th team couldn't beat the 3rd team, but they're not going to be able to win another game after that.
No.
And that's the problem is, well, they could win a game. Well, then are we getting the best team, or are we getting what you get in March Madness?
Yeah.
Which is usually just the team that starts playing the best and gets hot. And we know that they probably can't win 4 or 5 in a row, but yeah, they can knock anybody off in a one-off situation.
And to me, it's just not worth the Ohio State-Texas game this year, meaning significantly less, to let in some 8 and 4 teams who maybe could win a game, maybe 2.
When baseball was its most popular, you had
radios.
Thank you.
You had TV.
Horses.
There was all it was regular season, then World Series. Okay. Yeah. And so you had the 2 best teams in baseball played for the championship. The NCAA tournament now going to 76 teams, they have jumped the shark. And so it will rarely be the best team in the regular season winning March Madness. Fair? The best team regular season.
Baseball is a little tougher to use as an example just because I think the game changes so much, so fundamentally much with just the way bullpens get used and pinch hitters and stuff like that. But even I would say March Madness, especially in this NIL era, a lot of 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 3 seeds go pretty deep.
2 and 3 seeds, yes. I'm saying, but the 1 seed, the best team.
Easy.
The best team in the regular season.
You want me to tell you what's different?
Please.
It's because those baseball, hockey, and basketball professionally all play multi-game series. And so you can beat teams in a one-off. It's tough to beat them in a best of 3, 5, and it's real hard to beat them in a best of 7 if you're not the better team.
But how often, though, when they come out and say this is the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, how often do they win it?
I mean, just win it.
It may not be super often, but they go pretty deep. It's a one-off situation.
Right. And same thing in college football. I'm saying, Bob, once you get to 12 or 16 or 24, it's once you get past 4 teams, I think that you've already decided we don't care if the best regular season team wins it.
I don't know about that. There's a big difference between 12 and 24.
Yes.
Well, there's a big difference between 4 and 12, I think.
I agree, but we've already seen 3 of the 4 teams who played in the championship game in 2 years would not have made the 4-team field. Only Indiana would have. Notre Dame and Ohio State and Miami would have not made it.
Right.
And so I think it's okay to say we'll give you a loss.
Right.
And even in Miami and Ohio State's case, too. I mean, they lost to pretty good teams. Ohio State, well, I guess Michigan wasn't very good, but that was a weird game.
Yeah.
You lost by 1 point to Oregon. Miami lost a couple games last year to close teams. Notre Dame had the worst loss that you could possibly imagine to Northern Illinois, but they still proved over the case of 12 games that they were worthy of getting in. And same with Ohio State 2 years ago and Miami last year. Now when you double the field, you're not only saying hey, you can lose a game or 2. It's hey, you can lose 4 games.
All I'm saying is voting from 4 to 12, though. The jump from that.
But there's teams within 4 to 12 that are good enough to win it. And here's the other thing: the asymmetry in scheduling Thitoff matters a lot.
I don't think the 12, 11, or 10 is going to win the CFP.
Miami was 10 last year, and they played for it.
I understand that.
And
I'm
by
just
the
saying,
way,
by and large,
I mean, they had basically a block
They had a
punt
chance,
away
you're
from
right.
And
winning
also
it.
counting 12,
Fair.
I mean, the last 2 years is the group of 5 champion. So
right.
that's not
okay.
like.
So all I'm saying is, I don't think 12, 11, and 10 are going to win the championship. So I also don't think 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
There's
24
a big difference
will also
between
win
10
it,
and
though.
22.
There absolutely is.
And
But
so
it's still a loss.
I'm telling you that 10 can win it. Because we saw Miami get there.
Miami got there.
And they
No
were
doubt
blocked,
about it,
they were a
yes.
blocked punt away.
And Ohio State, Notre Dame were
And by
7
the way,
and 8. That's closer to 10
here's
than
the
it
other
is
thing.
1.
These are subjective rankings.
Okay.
This isn't like the NFL or Major League Baseball or professional sports where you play a fairly congruent schedule and it's based upon record and actual tiebreakers. These are simply people's thoughts of how good they perceive these teams to be. So it's significantly more subjective.
The fact it's subjective, though, Bob, leads me to think then I don't care if it goes to 24. Because it's subjective.
Okay, it is subjective to a point, but you're not putting a team in there that has a consensus that is probably a top 5 team. They're not going to be 16th.
I think.
So I'm telling you, when they talk about those clusters and groups,
right?
I could say, well, I think that team's 8th. I think they're 12th. You're going to say, I think that team's 8th, and actually someone else says, no, I think they're 17th.
Do you think
no one of sound mind who has knowledge on something is going to say that?
And I think, I just don't even think those teams deserve to play for a title. Now, do I think Oklahoma last year going into the playoff was good enough to win it all? Heck, no, I don't. Not even freaking close. But they were 10-2 in one of the 2 best conferences, and you look at their resume, and it was pretty good top to bottom. So they at least deserved it.
Right.
I don't think they were good enough to win it. They kind of showed that because they got ran off the field by Alabama, who then got even ran more off the field by Indiana a week later. But they at least deserved it. I don't think there's anybody, I mean, maybe top 16, but especially in the top 24. That back half does not even come close to deserving it.
Do you think the 3 of us collectively could come up with 8 teams right now that we think would win the national championship? I would feel confident, though, that one of those 8 would do it.
Most years. I would say probably in, I don't know, 70, somewhere between 60 and 65 and 75% of the time, probably. Last year was kind of an outlier because Miami, I don't know if they're good enough, and then they started playing really well.
And I don't know that we would have had Indiana in that bucket last year.
No.
As a top 8?
Well, before the season or after?
Yeah, before the season.
Oh,
before the season.
Sure. After, yeah,
would we have had? Do you think the 3 of us would come up with Indiana as one of the top 8 teams to win
You
it?
told me you didn't believe in Kurt Signetti after winning the national championship.
You're right.
Do you think you would have been able?
I don't think I would have put him in there. Like if you asked me a year ago right now, do I think they'll be good? I would have said 8-4, 9-3 good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
maybe 10-2.
All right.
Yeah. And it's like, but playing good enough to be a national championship team, probably not.
Okay. So I give you 12. The 3 of us with 12
But this is before the season.
Before the season. We sit down and talk. Would we have Indiana in the top 12?
I used to do this exercise routinely on XM when it was the group when there was a 4-team playoff. It's like, how many teams would you need? I would ask people, how many would I need to give you before you knew you had the national champion in that? In some years it would be 6. Most it was ever was 8.
Okay.
And the thing is with this, and that's preseason,
right?
And so we've expanded it, and so then you ultimately have the body of work because there's always going to be, not always, but. And NIL has changed just dramatically, too, because you know less about the teams coming in than ever before.
Portal, yeah.
How is this guy going to fit? Is he going to work? Before, it was a lot easier to say that.
Sure.
So that's why you probably need that extra 4 to 6 team leeway of going from 8 to 12 or 16 because you don't know as much anymore. 5 years ago, you knew everybody that was coming back.
You probably had 3 teams.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we would say.
Ohio
it's like
State
6.
and the best 2 teams in the SEC.
So I'd say you take the best couple teams in the SEC, Ohio State,
Notre Dame. Bodie's there.
Yeah.
But there would be you maybe have a USC in there, something like a Texas. There would be a handful of other teams that did this. And now the incongruency in schedules and the fact that the rosters turn over so dramatically, it's so hard to know what will work and what won't.
12 has just been such a good number, and I know we've only done 2 years of it, but it's worked out so well the last couple years that it's so frankly frustrating, honestly, just as a fan of the sport, that we're doubling this thing.
You could go to 16 and not fundamentally change the format.
Yeah. Okay, so you would both have Indiana last year going in as your one of the top 16 teams.
Oh, yeah.
16.
Okay,
yeah.
top
sure.
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 tough. I'd probably have them 11, 12, somewhere between
Somewhere,
11 and
yeah.
16.
Okay, between 11 and 16. That's fine. So
You would have had them out of there.
well,
Not
look,
a significant
16.
belief.
show me what you've done, Sigs. I don't
6-0.
know. Look, I hope they go 7-5 this year. But nonetheless, that's I'm just saying though, Bob, it is a moving target, which is why I know it won't happen. But I would say wait until December and then say, this is how big the playoff is this year. There's 6 teams there's 7, there's
More
9.
subjectivity.
Right. I'd like
I don't know
to.
if that's
I would
gonna
say,
be
you know,
good for
folks,
anybody.
I told people that. I go, ideally, you'd like to
Yes.
determine at the
Wait
end of the
till
season,
then.
I think there's this number of teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Have the smoke come out the
Yes.
conclave.
Maybe
and say,
have a
you know
minimum
what?
and a maximum.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be an Elite 8, maybe 16, might be 11.
We have
There may
determined
be-
there's 11 teams.
There may be one team so good, we just give them a bye.
Let's do that. Yes. So that's what I'd rather have. All right. Coming up next, folks, he's boots on the ground in Chicago. Austin Ward joins us. Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Brian Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver, and Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Galvan Ride. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes. Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
Not every weather impact day is dangerous, but plenty are inconvenient. Heavy rain during the drive home, high wind, storms that change your plans. That's where our weather impact team comes in, with the details that matter the most. You can find numbers anywhere, but we give you answers. The why, the when, and what it means for you. Live, local, whenever you need it. No waiting, no guesswork. Stay in the know and be prepared with 10 TV. We know weather.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Attack and dominate, YouTubers. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? The opportunity to work right alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank, they've got the tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep it running smoothly, or equipment financing to get it up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Time for Canelo Alvarez.
A guy who considers himself the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, who holds the shuffleboard record at the Ranger, and most impressive, the commissioner of the Central Ohio Two-Man Scramble League. Here's Austin Ward.
He is one half of The Beat with Austin and Berm on 10 TV Plus. Go check that out. Austin Ward joins us from Chicago out there for Big Ten Media Days.
Hold on. Is this a stepbrother situation, Berm? Or Austin, if you slide over, is Berm like right behind you?
Oh, he might be.
No, so there's we had such a difficulty trying to find rooms in Chicago, Bob, that our normal setup is like a residence inn or a town place.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-bedroom suite. And we got here yesterday, and the residence inn was like, well, we don't have those. And we're like, well, that's not going to work because we're 2 grown men, and I'm going to be up on Morning Juice at 6:20 Central Time. So he booked another room elsewhere at this property out by Midway so that he did not get distracted and so that I didn't have to just see him slide in behind and jump into the show. So not this time, but in a lot of other scenarios, that door could pop open back there and you might see a wild Berm in his element.
Did he get the room by Midway because of his love of aviation?
Yeah, I think he wanted to be close to the planes, Bob. He just can't get away from them. He, this trip could have been a lot easier, I'd say, if we had taken the flight. Do you remember the conversation, Bob? It was only 36 hours ago where he was so worried about tornadoes and winds and driving rainstorms on the way over to Chicago. Do you know how many drops of rain we saw on Monday night?
I'm guessing
that would
that's
be zero. Zero. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're safe. I can only give him so much guff about his love of the weather or fear of the weather. It's endearing, and it makes sure that I'm always safe on the road and not in the air.
Austin, did anything you heard yesterday from Petiti, from the other coaches and whatnot, did anything surprise you?
Yeah, Tito, I was surprised that I found myself enjoying, appreciating, understanding everything that Tony Petiti was saying for the Big Ten. I don't usually leave the commissioner's address with any sort of feeling of optimism for the Big Ten. In fact, I usually come away with more questions than I have answers. And I thought for half of Tony Petiti's address yesterday that was how I was going to feel. He said, well, there's going to be, changes to the bill coming, and I'm talking to Greg Sankey 5 times a day. We're excited about where that's going for protecting college sports. I'm still in favor of the 2014 playoff, but he wouldn't give real firm stance on which format he preferred. It would come to other matters of like, do you think the SEC is a rival? And he'd say, well, I think for the fans, it's a rivalry. And I think, we enjoy the games and we have success on the field. And I'm like, this is classic filibustering. This is deflection. This is still not answering the questions. And when you're Tony Petiti, you need to provide some of those answers if you're only going to do one press conference a year. Like, this is it. This is the showcase. You need to make a compelling case about your leadership. And something switched in him. And I think it was, so I wrote it down in the notebook. It was 23 minutes into his press conference. And it was the 6th time that a question had been asked that was prefaced by, the SEC last week said this, or the SEC believes that. And last week at SEC Media Days, we heard this. And finally, he went, I'm tired of this narrative that the middle of the Big Ten is not as strong as any other league. We have the best conference in college football. And then he had 3 national championship trophies right next to him to illustrate that point for him. And, he was pushing back on a question that was like, the SEC still believes it's a better program, a deeper program, deeper conference, I should say. And he said, no, the programs in our league are very strong, and our champions have to face a gauntlet to get out of it. And then, by the way, when they get there, they're winning these games against the other leagues on the field in the college football playoff. And I was like, that feels like a kind of competitive, edgy leader that he's not really conveyed in public yet. And that maybe allowed him to push the envelope a little bit more in the second half of the press conference, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was great. I'm not still a full convert on 24, but I can start to see why people in the room are listening to him as a leader and why what he's pitched for 24 is also working on very competitive coaches and a lot of smart athletic directors. So that was, I think, the first time I felt like that wasn't just a suit who understands broadcast deals at the microphone, and like maybe this guy does have some ideas that have long-term benefits for college football, college athletics, and the Big Ten.
Well, Tony, I think, like you said, he's a smart guy, and I think that's the first time that he's actually been like more assertive up at the podium, and maybe that's him kind of finding his speed finally as the commissioner, and they've had a lot of success. I think the middle of the Big Ten is good. The question is, Austin's like, what are we doing about the bottom 3 to 5 teams in the Big Ten who get all this money but yet never seem to ever cycle up in a league where we're supposed to be creating parity, but yet they have a hard time ascending even to mediocrity?
Tony Petitti was asked about that, and how much teams need to invest, what needs to be in the federal bill to regulate spending. And he said, even if you put in a hard salary cap with rules, with enforcement, with guardrails, with everything, he said, there's still going to be a gap between the best teams and the worst teams. There's still going to be a gap between the 8th best team and the 15th best team. You don't usually even hear commissioners address it that way, Bob. And I heard, everything that you guys were talking about with the, expansion of the playoff and who can win championships. There's never going to be enough parity in any college football system that is going to ensure that Ohio State and Northwestern are going to invest in their football programs at the same level overall. Because even if you regulate spending on the players, there's other revenue streams and there's other ways to then turn around and spend your budget. And you look at the size of Ohio State's coaching staff right now, most directly compared to Northwestern and the investments they make there. That's what separates the great teams from good teams from bad teams. And so that was usually you would hear commissioners say it is in our best interest for every team to be on level footing and competing with a realistic chance to win a championship every year. And Tony Petitti was like, that's not going to happen. And I was like, great. That's the most realistic take that I've ever heard at a media.
Yes.
Some teams are not going to be as good. And I was like, did he just say that for real? And I was like, who is this guy? But it's a fair point. Like that isn't ever going to happen. And if you're not going to put in a draft in place of recruitment, which there's so much beyond playoff subjectivity, roster building subjectivity is also one of a much larger factor. And if you're going to be good, great, bad, whatever, because there are so many players out there, and it's up to you, your coach, your general manager, your assistant coaches, your recruiting staff, to evaluate that and then spend the resources as you see fit. Even when you have a system that's designed for parity in the NFL, there's always still a gap between number 1 and number 32 in that league. So, yes, there are things that I think that the NCAA, the CSC, Congress can do that are going to help bring more parity to college football. But I think that parity is more about the number of teams that can win a national championship and not spin the wheel and any team can win a championship in any given year.
He is one half of the Beat with Austin and Berm. Check out that podcast, 10 TV Plus, everywhere your podcast. Austin, you get regular access to Ohio State coaches and players here in Columbus when you're covering the team. And now you go out to this thing where you've got the Big Ten Media Days, and there are people from all other different media outlets that don't normally have that kind of access to the coach and the players. When you're preparing your questions for Ryan Day, I mean, is there anything you can ask him that you haven't already asked him?
We'll talk to him, and we're scheduled to do that in about 3 hours. I think Berm and I will try and get that interview up even before Ryan Day is on the podium. That's our plan today. And there's still a number of things, because it's been 3 months since Ryan Day has been in a press conference setting or on the beat talking with us on the podcast, that there's a lot I think that we want to get into. I think, Berm has a lot of Arthur Smith on his mind, and if Ryan Day is in a position where he can, how much he'll step back offensively, especially, and I think that's fascinating to put in the context of the way that the offense ran 2 years ago versus, all right, maybe he got more involved down the stretch or had to get more involved when Brian Hartline was accepting the South Florida job. Where does he think that is with training camp starting in 8 days? But one thing that I really like to talk about with these guys in this setting when we have that chance is like what their summers are like. And that used to be a question for Ryan Day. Like, where did you go on vacation? And a couple of years ago, he's talking about all these places in Greece and giving travel tips. And because he's going to get asked 6 hours of football questions, including when I'm back over there for his breakout session that lasts 45 minutes. And when we get the opportunities on the side, I like to show the human side of these guys as a reminder that that's what they are and that they have families. And then now, like, what was the coolest thing that Jeremiah Smith got to do in the last 7 months? That could be literally anything. He's one of the most marketable athletes on the planet. And that would be a lot different than, say, 6 years ago and be like, I got to go home for 5 days and I love my mom's cooking. Like, now it could be like, I went to Monaco for the Grand Prix and like had a yacht with Red Bull. Like, I don't know what the answer will be. And that's the same for Julian Sayin, and it may be as well for Jalen McLean. I don't think that he had the same opportunities as those other two, but he still got a nice little contract in place. So that's the stuff I think about today, Tito. I know we can all break down the right guard scenario, and that's going to be asked probably a dozen times to Ryan Day, and Julian Sayin will probably be asked to weigh in on that as well. And the X's and O's stuff is important. But as you mentioned, when you have the national media folks in there, they're going to be hyper-focused on Jeremiah Smith and how much money he turned down from Miami. And, we'll hear probably too many people asking about Julian Sayin's personal life. And, that's the way this stuff goes. But at least for me, when I want to spend my time, if we have those opportunities, and they're not guaranteed, they are scheduled, but we'll see what happens. Media days are wild with the grid of time. I prefer to see some of the human element with them, and then we'll get into the football either later on in the breakout or next week when camp starts, when it's all football all the time.
So you're going to say they're going to ask Julian Sayin to weigh in on something. I thought you were going to say they're going to ask Julian to just weigh in general, and to sport those new rocking arms he's got and that sweet tan. Looking tough and strong, well, Austin.
If you have a bingo card, you want to grab one for Julian Sayin that has bigger, faster, and stronger, because I'm pretty sure that's just the way that he likes to skirt the issue. Because he gets, are you taller? I asked him that a lot.
Are you taller? I asked him if he was going to wear sleeves on his suit. I go, you should just Ricky Vaughn that thing just to show the folks what we got.
Yeah, I mean, because I did ask him that after the spring game. He was at the podium. I was like, it seems like that microphone is raised up a little higher. It's like the weird things that I noticed and that a quarterback at Ohio State gets asked. But because he's going to be asked about the physical changes. And Bob, we've both seen that after OTAs, after workouts. He does look physically different. You can even tell it, just facial features look different in addition to the arms and everything else that's going on. So Julian's going to get asked a ton about that, especially because I actually I'm going to try and do a head count at 1:30 Central Time, because Jeremiah and Julian are starting their breakouts at the same time. I want to see which one draws a bigger crowd, because normally the most popular player in college football is going to have the whole room over at one group. But now you have one of the best returning quarterbacks in the country and someone who finished fourth in the Heisman Trophy race a year ago at the same time. I want to see who people pick to go talk to first, because I actually think that there's probably more interesting stuff to talk about with Julian right now. And Jeremiah did this a year ago. So I would probably lean towards going to start with Julian Sayin if it was up to me. But I'm hoping that I'll have already talked to both of them this morning anyway.
He is our favorite Buckeye reporter. He is Lane Kiffin's favorite golfing buddy. We appreciate the time, Austin. We'll talk again soon. Have a great time. Don't do that. Have a great time out there. We'll see you, Lane. We'll see you, Austin.
Yeah. See you guys.
That was Austin Ward joining us there. Coming up next, we'll tell you who's got his juice, Morning Juice.
Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veterans Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver, and Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes. Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thitoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. Thank you to Austin Ward for joining us there from the Bryant Heating and Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline from Chicago. We assume it's Chicago. He could be in Columbus, Bob, in just some hotel acting like he's in Chicago. We don't know.
I think he's in Chicago.
You never
He's
know.
going to be getting some sound, talking today.
Okay.
It'll be good.
Let's play this video right now, Bodie, from Caleb Downs. Do you want to give context to it? Never mind. It's playing unless you want to give context.
I can give context. This was on the Downs to Business podcast, which is a pretty great name if your last name is Caleb Downs for the former Buckeye.
And you have a brother who plays too. So
and his brother also in the NFL, Josh Downs. This was the most recent episode when he talked about Matt Patricia first getting hired February-ish of 25, give or take.
Matt Patricia, he has a weird reputation, sort of. Like, when he first got hired, there was some people that was like, terrible hire, terrible pickup. I was like, bro, like, this dude coached on all these Super Bowl teams. He got to be a good coach. Like, he got to know what he's talking about. But, like, there was a lot of people that was saying all this stuff about him. I met him. I was like, hey, I don't know why everybody's saying, like, he's so hard-nosed, everything like that. First day, he was like, he got in the meeting, hey, guys, we're going to hand out these sheet of paper. I want you to write the best 5 players on this defense and the worst 5 players on this defense.
Worst 5 is crazy.
He's like, if you say yourself and a coach doesn't say you're lying. Everybody was like,
bro.
And then there was a couple dudes that was sitting there like, oh, because they wrote their names and everybody was like.
So
is that pen or pencil?
My first two questions on that would be, one, I'd be curious, like, what the benefit of that is. Like,
I think it's for you to be realistic about how good you are.
Okay.
Like, I'm one of the best 5 players. Well, if a coach doesn't put you down, then you're lying.
Okay.
So, like, that's where I think and then honestly, like, are you in the worst 5? Like, be realistic about what you are. People will lie. These guys get lied to by everybody.
Yeah.
Their family, they're screwing you. They're not playing. Like, the players know. They watch the film. And that's what Heartline used to have guys do. They would literally rank the receivers every single week. He wouldn't. The other receivers would rank each other.
Okay.
And he had a board up there every week.
Listen.
And like, I need to play more. He's like, are you in the top 3? He's like, this isn't my opinion. This is their opinion.
I think we should do that here.
No, let's not do that.
I tried to get
No.
And just employees.
Nope.
Just rank, no hosts, no producers.
Yeah.
Everybody's on it. If you work in this building, you walk in here every day, or maybe a couple times a week if you get some little bit of hybrid. Everybody just write, I don't know, maybe, because we probably have, about 24 people, give or take, between both our radio and sales.
Yeah.
Top 5, top 3, something like that. Maybe we just go first to last.
So when my brother was working the head nurse to try to make sure to get the scheduling for my dad, he's like, the guy, the people in here, like, and my brother's unbelievable talking to people and like, yeah, I feel like we got some of the best nurses. And Andre came and I go, hey, let's set up like a power ranking for all of them.
Yes.
And he's like, come on, man. I'm like, let's see. I go, I want to hear who the best. Let's figure out who the best are.
It's healthy confrontation. You don't have to write why they're great or why they suck. Just here's why. And then you know what? We'll get together as a staff. Everybody gets locked in.
Yeah.
And we have to explain ourselves. We can each present. Person goes up to the front of the room. Here's who I had top 3, bottom 3.
Yeah.
Rank it all out.
I like it.
Explain your reasoning. I mean, I could think of a few people that should be on that list somewhere.
It'd be beautiful.
Okay, on-air hosts, say there's 1 through 14, Bob. Honestly, where do you rank me? Bodie, you get the same question.
I have to look through this a little more.
Okay,
I don't know if you're top 5.
I
I don't know that you're bottom 5, but I don't know that you're top 5.
You've got the other show over there. You've got Bishop and Friends. You've got Rothman and Ice. You've got Man and Timmy. You've got Buckeye Show.
I don't know that I'd put you in the top 5, but I wouldn't put you in the bottom 5.
I appreciate that, Bodie. And honestly, where do you have me?
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Now, am I evaluating you see, that's the thing. That was my thing with employees. Because, like, producers, it's hard to rank us compared to
unless you work with them, too.
But, even if you don't, Bob.
That's true.
I would say sometimes I know how people operate around here, depending on what we're talking about. Because you and I, the 3 of us even, do very different jobs.
Sure.
So it's like so I'm just talking best employee to worst. Off the top, I think I'd have Bo 1.
Okay.
Bo's really good.
Yeah.
Bo's solid, yes.
With all due respect, everybody else, of course.
Oh, I've said that for years.
Okay. 2?
Dude, we're not doing this on air.
See now,
we got what's got us
juice? Let's do juice. That's fine.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
I've got Bodie, number 1 producer, by the way.
Bodie is the best here.
Yes.
I mean, I think anybody that's worked with him would acknowledge that. What's got me juiced? Last night, did an unbelievable thing. I was hoping we'd have a chance to get to in the show. We'll have to talk about it tomorrow. We can pull some of the social media stuff with it. But Ohio State, they're doing this mentorship program with some of the former players. And I didn't realize how it was all set up. Monica Johnson setting it up, and her and CJ Barnett did a great job. It was over at the Woody. They had all the new freshmen. And they had Buckeye, we'll do legends in air quotes, of guys that were there. And I say that like because I'm one of the guys that are there. I'm like, I don't know about that's a strong word. But they paired everybody up with a mentor. We sat around at the table, and we were talking to some guys. Like, give them your number, talk to them. And this is what drives me crazy about people like, Ryan Day doesn't understand Ohio State. I'm like, dude, do not give me that crap. Like, he has engaged people at such a higher level than what had happened here prior and wants to make sure, and especially in this era now where it's, the NIL and the portal, like, what makes Ohio State different? He's like, we talk about the brotherhood, and it's unbelievable because there were guys there ranging who graduated from like 89 to maybe on the newer end, like CJ Saunders was there, like 1920 when he finished up, 22, I don't know, something like that.
It wouldn't be 1920, Bob.
Like 19 or 20.
Oh, okay.
Like
sorry. Yes.
hyphen.
There we go. Thank you.
19, comma 20.
Yes,
Okay, sorry,
there wasn't
comma.
19, 20, 21. And I'm trying to remember. I go, I fortunately, I know all of these guys. That's what I was telling my player, and I'm like, I know all of these guys, and I'm like, I played with probably 10% of them, but like working with them, becoming friends with them, meeting them through other guys, like you just begin to know people. And that's like when they talk about the brotherhood, I go, that's what it is. And so it was awesome to do that. And it's like, hey, take my number. And I know you guys see me in the weight room. I told some of the guys, like outside, Mason Wilhelm was at our table. I'm like, I know Mason because I play with his dad. I'm like, so he's one. It's like, I know Sincere because he's a linebacker. I go, well, the rest of you guys, you got to make it here more than like a spring, a season, a spring before I'm going to invest in you anymore. Because like so many guys left. Like, I put all this time with guys and they left. And I don't hold it against them. But I'm like, you got to prove that you want to stay. Go talk to Carson Hinsman about his journey here and all the highs and lows and everything. That's what it means to play at Ohio State and to be able to persevere and push through things and then ultimately be given an opportunity to have some of the greatest success when 8 months before that probably seemed like the furthest thing that would be happening for you. And so that's got me juiced. We'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, and I'll lay out kind of some of the things that they did. But it was a very, very special event last night. What's Shug's got to say?
Right there. Poof, David Copperfield. There's your plan, Big Ten. No need to thank me. I did it in 2 hours. All you need is a whiteboard, a pair of scissors, a monster, and a brain. That's it. That's all you need.
What's the scissors for? Is that written on the whiteboard? Or
stab himself
TBD.
Occasionally. Yeah, you never know. You may have to cut some
Little
things.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
I'll show you what my life is. All right, guys. Football season starts on a different day, time of year for many people. Maybe it's training camp. Maybe it's Ohio State and fall camp. Maybe it's Labor Day weekend. But for me, football season officially got started yesterday in Oxnard because the beloved owner started talking about expectations for his football team.
What would have to happen for you to consider this a successful season for your football team?
Oh, I think to contend for a Super Bowl, which would, if you contend, you got a real chance of being in it and being in the game. I think those are the kinds of things that I don't believe are an outlandish or a reach to expect. And so that's a successful season.
Jerry, you haven't really gotten close in 30 years.
Let's go.
But this,
Did you see me on Landman a couple years ago?
So that has me juiced, I guess, this morning, Tito. How about you, sir?
So they're signing Aaron Donald.
Oh, now, you know what? We might be start cooking with something right there.
They are going to win the NFC East. Write it down.
Because they win a playoff game.
I'm not talking about the host.
Because they've won the division a handful of times in those 30 years, and it's never resulted in 2 playoff wins.
We got one.
It's resulted in one a few times.
Got one.
Couple things. Yes, Bodie, no more producer. I agree, Bo, number 1. I would have you top 5, Bob.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I would have Shark as a number 1.
Emeritus?
I think the rankings is just named after Shark.
That's
the
a
Mark
good point.
the
Yes.
Shark,
That's what you do.
97.1
Yes.
the Fan.
Exactly.
Meredith,
Yes.
Run for the Cure.
What's got me, dude?
Power
I love.
rankings.
We'll go off topic on this stuff, Bob, and now I got to hear about this stuff that happened with you yesterday with this legend thing. And it bothers me. You can't. Or you don't call yourself. You don't consider yourself a legend.
You never even call me by my name.
Well, it's. Truss used to always say,
winners eat last.
Leaders eat last. But let the doer of the deed remain silent. Let those who did it tell it or received it tell it. And people, if you have to tell, this is another quote that I got from someone. If you have to reference like a degree or your status to win an argument, he's like, you've already lost it. So like you tell him, well, this is what I did here. This is what I did. These guys don't care. Like they want to look it up. And that's what CJ goes, if you don't know your guy, Google him.
This is why.
It was
Google me.
This is why I would suck as a legend, because I'd be Ron Burgundy. I don't want to tell you this, but I'm kind of a big deal. That's if I were ever a legend at anything, Bob, I would be the worst legend at being a legend.
Well,
so take advice from me.
Believe me, I get it. And that's why, and it's even weirder for me. And that's why I told my guy Tuck yesterday. I was like, you've seen me in here a lot. You probably had no idea what I did or my affiliation or association with the program. But so I did play with Schlegs because I started talking to him about different guys who I'd played with. And James was there, Devin Jordan,
Marcus
other guys.
Freeman.
Marcus, yeah.
That's fine.
You ever heard of him?
Folks, that's it for us today. More from Bobby tomorrow and that Legends thing. We'll do all that tomorrow. Morning Juice.